Dennis Amachree, security analyst and former director of the DSS, joins us now from Houston, Texas in the U.S. And we also have Dr. Yahuza Getso, a security analyst, joining us from the Katsina state capital, that's Katsina itself. Hello, gentlemen. Very warm welcome to Newsnight. Let's start with you, Dennis. As somebody who's worked at the highest level in Nigeria's security apparatus, are we doing enough to really eliminate, annihilate these terrorists who are still posing very substantial threats to Nigerians?
Thank you for having me. Well, when you look at it holistically, you'll see that earlier, the Nigerian security forces have been very, very much on top of the game, especially in the Northeast. And then suddenly, we started losing grip of what is going on, whereby we also have ISWAP, which is a branch of ISIS that came in, conquered Boko Haram, and then, of course, had many of their people right now, and of course, bringing new capabilities to this terrorist group. And with the new capabilities, we have not been able to match it the way that it should be matched. So I'm not surprised that, of course, they have got this new gusto in attacking even our military bases, and then, of course, killing innocent civilians the way they want.
With you, because we're still having connection problems with Dr. Yahuza Getso. So, if you look at the new analytical rating by an Islamic data analysis, and ranking Nigeria higher than Iraq, where Islamic terrorists, attacks have become so prevalent and the rest. What is this really saying to the Nigerian authorities and security agencies?
We have to look at it generally. And of course, this started coming from Mali. And then, of course, the fall of Libya, because some of these ISIS fighters actually came through these areas and then down into the Sahel, where they have been able to two factors that encourage them. One is poverty of the societies around the Sahel, unemployment, poverty, and stuff like that. And then, of course, the second one is the weak military. The military has not been very, very serious in many countries, starting from Burkina Faso, Mali, Guinea. And then, of course, they are now aligning themselves with cross-border Fulanis. Cross-border Fulanis who had been having problems in many of these countries, Burkina Faso, Guinea, Ghana, Niger, and Nigeria, of course. So these people are the ones that are being recruited, and then, of course, they are busy having incursions into the different countries.
We know that the Sahelian crisis is really sweeping into Nigeria, and the gutso you talked about. It's not as if the Nigerian government has not done the needful by providing the military, substantial weapons to really fight the insurgents and the rest. But some of the coded stories we're hearing that even the Tucano that is supposed to do, the clean out operations from the air before the ground forces can come in, are not even fitted with the necessary missiles or the infrareds that will pinpoint the locations of the terrorists. What are your thoughts here?
Well, the military spokespersons will tell you more about what's going on with the Tucano jets, because we put a lot of hope in those jets. And by the time they came in, we were not able to use them because of some contractual agreements And of course, that was cleared out when the bandits were declared as terrorists. And now that they are terrorists, we're still having some little problems. And I think personally that the security agencies actually are doing very well, because I can tell you, with the kind of numbers that the security agencies have and the kind of problems they are facing, the support we are supposed to get from political leadership is not there. And then, of course, right now you can see, we have a very serious issue. And then, of course, politicians are busy campaigning on who will be next president and who will be next senator. So you find out that the security sector, more or less, is abandoned. And then, of course, you can't have very good results if you are not being supported by the politicians who run the affairs of the country.
Well, absolutely there. But you have the governor of Kaduna State, times without number, is asked that the terrorists should be dealt deadly blows from the head, and the ground forces should move in and finish them off. He even, intoned again that the security agencies, the DSS, for example, listens to their conversations. They know where they are. Why are the authorities reluctant to go for the jugular?
I'm very happy that you mentioned it. Like I said earlier, the security agencies are doing their best. And for the DSS, yes, the governor was right that they've been able to locate them and even penetrated their communications where they are listening to what they are saying. But remember, the action authority is not the DSS. So when you have an actionable intelligence given to the appropriate people, the people that will actually carry out the operations are different, And then, of course, if there is no political will to say that, okay, you go ahead and do it, because let's come back to one fact here. The governor is the executive governor of his state. And I don't know who he was actually asking to go and carry out most of the things that he was saying, because the military is there with him, the police is there with him, and I think I was expecting that he should direct them, and if there's any problem, he can go. Of course, they have open access to the commander-in-chief, and he should be able to take care of this. But I think it is a finger-pointing issue whereby he's pointing at some other people to do it, and then, of course, nothing is being done.
Well, I don't know why you would call that a finger-pointing issue, because he too gets security reports as the chief executive of the state. And you've mentioned something that even when the DSS, gets credible information and passes such to relevant authorities, I'm sure, like to the office of the National Security Advisor, then there is lack of synergy in, tackling this insurgency palaver, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we had a big problem earlier where security agencies were working in silos. All of them were trying to impress the commander-in-chief. So they don't have a fusion whereby intelligence is being shared among the security agencies, the relevant security agencies. I know that some attempts have been made in trying to create a fusion center where all the intelligence coming in will be shared. But I don't know, I'm out of service now. I cannot tell you how effective that fusion center or control center, is contributing to the national intelligence.
So from your own experience, finally, if you aggregate, the entire agencies and security agencies and the rest, do you think Nigeria can win this war against terrorists, just like the former Nigeria's External Affairs Minister, Professor Bolaji Akiyemi, said?
I totally agree with the professor that we can win them over and over. All we need is political will, and then, of course, a gingering of the security agencies and the military, and then, of course, they will do. They keep on doing better in different countries. We went through a civil war, and the civil war was not as this, but we won that. And then, of course, the country moved on forward. And I believe strongly that the country will move on and put this behind us in the near future.
All right, thanks for such optimism, and hope that gives Nigerians some respite and hope for a better tomorrow. Dennis Amachree, former director, Directorate of State Security, was speaking to us from Houston, Texas, in the United States.